Right.
Now I'm going to my profile.
Here we go as she goes to her profile. Welcome back, everybody. It's another episode of the Book Asylum podcast. I am Jack Childress. That is Jenn, Amato, Potato, Tomato, Amato. Are you fucking kidding me? Over beside her on my screen, anyway, is Kristen, Vincent, fantastic poet, better person. Over her this side is the one and only, the bad wabbit himself, Anthony freaking Castro. Making one of the rare appearances, which is tickling my little black heart, Bobbie Jean Murphy, or also known as Blue Check Bobbie, or Snugs, depends on the context. Dungeondan here to totally knock the wheels right off this freaking train, doing his job. Good on you. Coming to you live from the beautiful, beautiful sunny skies in Puerto Rico, Angel, my liege Ramon, and editor extraordinaire, one of my favorite people in the whole wide world, one of the only Doc Freed. This week on the show, ladies and gentlemen, we have for you a fantastic author, a groundbreaking author, an author who can absolutely reach into your soul, scare the living crap out of you, put it back in, and you be like, what happened? Where am I? Oh, but it's so good. So good. Everybody, James freaking Dean, what is up, my brother?
Oh, not much. Thanks for that, Jack. The check will be in the mail tomorrow.
Hopefully this one doesn't bounce.
No promises.
Hey, he's on an author salary, okay? Relax.
You'll be able to at least buy a pack of bubble gum, maybe.
Okay, that'll work.
I don't think they're 25 cents anymore.
Oh, well, you're screwed.
Yeah.
Unlike the books.
Maybe a couple of chick nicks.
Chiclets.
You get one of those stale bubblegum balls from the bubblegum machine.
Yeah, they still have those.
Might be
Jawbreakers.
okay. Yeah. Oh,
Yeah, you know what? I'd rather keep the teeth that I still have.
With you there.
Smart.
Okay, so James.
Actually, wait, I want to bring something up real quick. As y'all can see, Jenn has a brand new microphone. Would you like to show everyone the new microphone?
It's pink, flesh colored for some.
Very.
That is a dual purpose
I'm so
mic.
proud of my.
So then does that mean the show is going to be simulcast on Pornhub from here on out? Or
Probably.
I already do that.
Probably.
That was the easiest sponsor we could find. What are you going to say?
Yeah.
You know, they
The
said,
only
just
one
give
that
us
could
one
sponsor
piece of
Dungeondan.
content and go with it.
Wait a minute,
All right,
Jen, could you do that again? Just a couple seconds.
promo. I will
Here we
have
go.
a it'll be behind the paywall. Sorry.
Yeah, I'll pay. I got a nickel. Nickel for a cheap
Okay.
thrill.
Okay. Let's see we get this train back on the tracks because we are
You
totally in the
derailed
ditch
it,
right
okay? You derailed
Yeah, we
it.
didn't do it this time.
It
I
wasn't.
know.
Nope.
Good, Jack.
Wait,
I know,
who's the
I know.
guest?
now. I just
well,
want to see how
and it was not even 2 minutes in, so things are going to go well.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's
And
gonna
it's-
be one of those shows. Okay, I'm the straight guy, guys. Let's get it together. Come on.
I don't care what you heard. I'm a straight guy too.
Right, well, in that case, Doc.
I'm the one with the dog on my shirt.
All right,
Done.
Doc, get us back on track. You asked the first question.
Oh, lovely. Where do you get your inspiration for your writings?
Well, it depends on the writing, really. Sometimes it's sometimes I see something on TV and say, "Oh, that's stupid," and like, but if I did this with it, maybe it would be better. Honestly, I started reading fairly young. I mean, some of the first things that I read were like Anderson's fairy tales, Aesop's fables, Moby Dick, and so I started kind of appreciating the written word when I was much younger. My parents had this encyclopedia back when we still had books in encyclopedias in book form.
Mhm.
And I would read through those, so I can safely say that I actually have read an entire encyclopedia. It was from 1978, so it wasn't really
Wasn't
up to
exactly
speed.
accurate.
So
You didn't do a lot as a kid.
no, I didn't get out much.
It's,
Up to
mhm.
1978.
It's funny because I had a set from 1978 myself, and I read it. Yeah, so I know
Was
exactly
it,
where you're coming
For all
from.
you young people out there, that's what we looked at before and got our information from before Google.
Yes.
Pre-Google.
Yeah.
People
Yeah.
would show up at your door and sell you
Try
these
and
books.
sell them
And-
to
Yeah.
you.
I
Yes.
remember that.
I have a whole set right here. Oh, well, look at that.
You could literally crack a skull with one of those things.
Oh,
Oh
yeah.
yeah.
But
Those were-
the best thing was the smell.
Did you have Britannica or World Book?
Britannica.
Britannica.
Botanica.
I think that was the
think-
most
I think-
popular.
I think those were the ones who went door to door. They were like, God damn
Yeah.
that World Book. We're going to beat them.
Yeah.
We're going to be in every household.
Yeah,
I
it was
wonder
a
if any
full
fights ever-
12 book set, and so
Yeah.
My mom was
Hello.
real adamant about me reading those whenever I was actually reading a book. Anytime I'd find a word that I didn't know, and I'd be like, Mom, what does this mean? She'd be like, go get the encyclopedia. and so I'd be sitting there reading 2 books.
That ain't nothing. Every time I got caught reading Playboy, I got whacked with a freaking Britannica. Volume 8 every time. Pow!
Oh, God.
But Mom, I'm reading.
Yeah. I am reading every inch of that girl.
And the stories.
You know, look how I turned out. Nothing wrong.
Well,
Yeah.
okay.
nothing. So how many books do you have out, James?
Oh, here we
No,
go.
I have 2 books of my own.
Oh, just 2?
Yeah,
Just
just 2.
two?
Okay, so if I remember correctly, May of 2022.
Oh, here we go.
This was our first time being on it was my first time being on the podcast. And you came on and I was tripping balls. I was ecstatic because you have
Much
always
like
been my
now.
favorite, much like now. Anyways, so you said something to me back then. Other than just the
than
normal
fuck
interview
off.
questions. And yeah.
Yeah.
It was about
Stop
writing.
stalking me.
It was about it's like, please stop messaging me in the middle of the night. It was about writing and it was about your 3rd book coming out. So do you remember?
So where's
Vaguely.
the book?
Okay, so you threatened my life. No, you said that I needed to have at least my 1st book out by the time you got your 3rd out.
Yeah.
And
Ooh,
now you're
on your
yeah,
3rd, and-
I got 3 out, and I'm still waiting for your 3rd book, and I've already told you it's good, and you need to just send it to an editor. Come on.
Yeah,
I want to
and-
make a point
wait a
out.
minute. You can just
Want to
send
point
it
out
to
something right
me.
now. Jen knew way too much. If she actually has video footage of this because she knew dates and everything.
She's on point with all that.
yeah, I'm
I knew
starting
it
to-
was May of 2022. I know what you were wearing. You were wearing camo.
Oh boy,
Damn.
James, you should
She's on
run.
point, baby.
Don't make her get that penis mic after you.
Exactly.
That'll be
God.
the ultimate bend over right there.
Oh,
So, well, for honestly, for those that don't
I'm the
know,
editor. I'm editing right there. Come on, guys.
Come
so
on,
I
get
Have
it ready.
5 straight minutes.
So Jen has actually read everything that I've got so far for book 3. So she's the keeper of the spoilers. Mainly because
My mouth is closed for once, but I need you to get out there and do this.
Doc's right there.
but I think at the point when what you read, you mentioned something to me when you messaged me back that that it's good up to the, it's good, and when is it going to come out?
Yes.
But it's only half done, so that the story doesn't end there.
How
No,
long is
that's
this
okay.
book
There-
going to be?
There can be a book
Well,
4.
There's going to be a book 4 and probably a 5. I actually, believe it or not, have an ending in mind, and I'm
Love this
moving towards that
series.
ending. I actually, believe it or not, have an ending.
Oh, somebody was.
Wasn't me.
Wasn't me.
Everybody looked at me.
It was
like,
Kristen. Look at her face.
yeah, she looks guilty.
Guilty.
Wonk, wonk,
Don't interrupt my work, boo. Okay, continue.
So basically, from last year to this year, and this is last year was an incredibly hard year for me. There was a lot that was going on, a lot of medical issues that for those who don't know, I have an autoimmune condition called ankylosing spondylitis that takes a lot of. I see more doctors than family these days. And in this
damn.
last year, I've
Yeah,
had 2
that's tough.
surgeries. I've got some I've had good news and bad news all year. I've been diagnosed with liver cirrhosis that was rolled back to, oh no, you don't have it. And like, how do you fuck that up?
Yeah.
But so which that was good news. And about 2 weeks after I got the good news, my mother passed away. And then so it's just been a very, very rough year. So writing has kind of been taking a back seat. I did recently just start. I picked up my manuscript again, and I was beating myself up for the last date that I had on there for the last save date. And I'm sure that Jen, I've told you this before. I'm in the middle of more rewrites because I listened to my original audiobooks, who's voiced by Eric Shellman. Put a
Brilliant narrator.
Plug in there, great narrator, good friend, good guy. Been to his house a couple of times. So I've listened to him, and as a side note, I cannot write my characters without hearing his voice in my head.
Oh no.
So all my characters talk in his voice. So he's going to have to keep narrating my books from here on.
I could totally see how that would happen. It's like with the Phil Brook thing when he had to switch narrators. The fans picked up on it right away. Like, wait a minute.
And I think Sean Chesser had the same situation at one point, and it was a little bit jarring when he changed it, but you get used to it really quick. But for me as the writer, I can't not hear Dan speaking in Eric's voice.
Right.
So he's got to stick around for a while.
I'm actually listening to a book right now. In fact, I'm in the last 45 minutes of it that Eric did. It's Jamie Hernandez. Suburban Jungle, the second book in her series. And you're right, that voice, man.
Wow. Oh, he. I don't know if you've listened to any of Dave Simpson's books, the Zombie Road series.
the whole thing.
Oh,
yeah, right.
yeah, that guy. And he's another. I met him at Scares of Care. Really good guy. Very, very busy and very focused on what he's doing. A little bit crazy, but that's for a good thing. It's a good thing.
Yeah,
I will go with we'll call it eccentric.
I'll go with that.
It's crazy.
I think you have to be a little bit crazy to be a good writer.
Yeah.
Yes, you do.
No, you have to be a little crazy to be a bad writer too.
Well, true.
You just have to be crazy to be an editor. Sorry.
That
I would agree.
I mean, absolutely certifiably daft. And look who I deal with.
Yeah, it's about the time that even.
And you keep coming back.
I know this. Wait a minute. I drove 6 hours home from the mountains in the snow on a drive that should have taken me 2.5 hours this morning to make it here for noon so I could be on this podcast. Because I texted Jack just over 6 hours ago and I got up. I was up and I was out the door and I was like, what did I do? And in fact, people were off the road everywhere. The storm was, it was that level of a storm.
Wow.
What you're saying is everybody off the road is going, bet that chick is a freaking editor.
Yeah, I meant she's certifiably daft. And look at her. She keeps going. I got up to the top of the pass and the cops looked at me and they said, well, how was it? And I said, because they were holding the people that were supposed to go down the pass, and I said, no, it needs at least another hour before you, because I could see how long it had to be 5 miles of cars. I said it's at least another hour before you're going to get them down even halfway safely. And they're like, okay, thanks, because they know me. So it was like, they go, you going to keep going? I said, I've got to do a podcast in 3 hours. No.
Oh.
And I made it.
And she made it into this awesome train wreck that we have going today.
You're safe.
Yeah, we're good. You're safe. 100%.
That is the big thing.
Yeah,
well, Kristen, since you've been sitting over there chilling, only spoke up once, sort of. Throw a question out there.
So, what got you into writing zombie horror? I mean, obviously,
well, yeah, go ahead. No shit.
Yeah,
I have
brain froze.
So actually, originally when I first started writing, I was writing a lot of sword and sorcery. It was I was writing for a web, kind of web publisher called The Long Road Journals, and I had probably about 4 or 5 stories up there. And when you sign a contract, and this is, I want to say this was back in the mid 2000s, and the website it went under. And when I tried to get my work back, they basically said, no, this is our intellectual property, because at the time I didn't read the contract, and so when they left, they took everything. And so at that point, it's like, you know what, screw this. The hell with writing, because this is the industry that this is. Screw it. And it took a little while. And I've always been into zombies. I've always been into horror. My grandmother, when I was very little, would we had this one of the original cable networks called On TV in Chicago. It had 2 channels. And we would sit and watch Svengoolie, then some of Svengoolie, and
Nice.
Elvira, and all the classics. And we'd see some movies that to this day I've never seen again. Like, I didn't know that there actually was a Son of the Blob. It was god awful, but it was great to sit and watch.
No, I didn't know that either.
Oh
my God, you guys are
watch
children.
Svengoolie on Saturday nights.
Oh yeah, Svengoolie's he's still going. In fact, I think
I watch it every Saturday night.
She posts on Facebook. She's like, "Hey,
Yeah.
getting ready to watch. Y'all want to join?"
Yeah, and he's a local here, so he was Svengoolie, or he was son of Svengoolie when the original Svengoolie was around.
Yeah.
And he started working as the Co's Zone, Rich Co's, for a long time. Did a lot of kids shows, and then finally somebody said, "What? Where's the makeup? Put the makeup back on. Start showing horror films." And he came back, and I couldn't have been happier. But I started when I was watching with my grandmother. I saw Night of the Living Dead for the first time at a much younger age. Yeah. Oh, my grandmother's a big horror lover.
She's cool.
Oh yeah,
very cool.
87 years old. She's still out ballroom dancing every week.
That is awesome.
Oh my God.
Watch Night of the Living Dead, but okay.
And so and yeah, I want to say I was probably 7, 8 when I saw that movie the first time. Loved it. And so I've always been a fan of zombies and monsters and just the general macabre. And so I watched, to answer your question, I started watching, again, if Night of the Living Dead is on TV, I will watch it. I don't care what I'm doing. And there's just something about it coming on TV when you're not planning on it. You just got to watch it.
Yeah.
So I watched it, and afterwards I felt like I just wanted some more zombie, and I didn't realize zombie literature was a thing at the time. And I found Mark Tufo. So I read his first book. And then I started looking into him, and I discovered, or I found this whole idea of self-publishing. Like, wow, there's an idea. I get to control my own stuff. And there's just one night I was actually in the shower, and I had this first line in the book run through my head. It's like, I got to write that down. And I sat down, and for the next 3 hours, I pounded out the first 3 chapters in the first book.
Wow.
What was that first line?
We always thought it was a joke.
That's awesome.
It was the most amazing opening I have ever seen in a zombie book.
And my brother and I have always done the back and forth with, what will we do if the zombies are coming? How would we defend the home and whatnot? And that's why he made his way into the book. The Chris character is modeled after my brother. And some of the goofy things that happen to him are from conversations that we've had, because he'll sometimes, he would start pushing this idea as like, well, I would do this. Like, well, really? Well, I'm the all-knowing, all-seeing God of my own universe, so now it won't work.
The ultimate sibling rivalry.
Yes. You
great.
think you're smart, but it's not going to work because this is my book.
So for those who have read it, and I'm not going to spoil it, what happened to Washington, D.C. That was a direct result of something that he said to me. Is like, I will beat this. I will do this. Like, oh, really? Good luck now.
Okay. See, now that's how you draw them in right there. They're like,
I
gotta know what that means.
I'm telling you that he's got 2 books out. And if you haven't read them, you really need to get hip. I can't. It's just, I really enjoyed it because to me, you brought real life to a possibility. And I think it was, you were my second read in the genre. I had already read someone else, but I picked up your books because I had one that what was it? I was supposed to be part of the third book. It was an auction. And that's how you and I got talking, because it was an auction for Javin and his medical equipment.
Right.
And I won that auction. You and I started talking. I started reading your books and I was like, oh my God, this is the most realistic thing I've ever read in my life. And that's when I was just all in. And honestly, my love of your books and you personally, I have a huge and deep respect for you. And that, I think, is why, because you actually took the time to talk to me. And that's why we do this podcast, to get authors out there. And I only hope that I become like you in that respect during my time being an author. I emulate you when it comes to that, and that's why I'm like such a fan, and because you're down to earth. You're like, yeah, I got stuff happening. I'm a real person and I just need some time. And it's just, I absolutely adore the shit out of you. And that's why I always fangirl every time you're on.
And there's the panty splash.
I gotta say, honestly,
she's grabbing her microphone. Oh my God.
But I'm completely honored and honestly speechless. That meant a lot.
It's one of those things where I'm just like, everybody's like, oh, you're crushed and you're this, you're that. And it's like, no, it's a huge, huge, huge monumental respect that I have for you, because you were the first one who actually took 5 minutes out of your day in the zombie genre indie author section, took 5 minutes out of your day to actually sit there and have a back and forth with me. There were many nights I was working third shift in the jail, and this man is sitting here. Yeah, I can't sleep. Let's talk. Okay. I'm not going to tell you no.
And I seem to remember giving you some suggestions while you were there, ways to pass time that would probably have brought you up on charges.
Yes. I did not do those, by the way.
Okay, that's going to be a private chat we're going to have to set up for later, because I need to know.
It's a very, very life-changing thing sometimes when authors, especially that you look up to, actually respond to your messages and like give you some kind of motivation and all that stuff. Same with Chris Philbrook. That's how he was my favorite author before I ever met him. And I messaged him one day. He wrote back, surprisingly. And now here we are, two peas in a pod, making comic books. So it's freaking awesome.
It is. I just appreciate every moment that you did spend, every message that you sent back. It was something where I was like, I can get some information, because I've always wanted to be an author since I was 14. And then you and I having conversations, you were like, oh, you should. And then when we finally got on here, and you were like, no, you really need to, because I've seen your writing, which I just happened one day to send you some stuff. And it was just life-changing hearing you say, yeah, no, you're really good. And I was like, I can write.
Yeah, that was one of the, when I saw, you sent me your writing, and I read it, and it's like, this person has a story to tell and you need to tell it.
I just appreciated it.
So, and I got the same, I was, where you were when I first reached out to Mark Tufo, actually, to talk to him about self-publishing, and he emailed me back, and I was shocked. And now we talk probably once or twice a month, generally about barbecue. We don't even talk about writing anymore.
So you fangirl over Mark Tofu, or
Tofu.
What the? That's sticking around for a while.
That was a sin.
No.
I hope he's watching.
I hope he was too.
Oh,
He's always gonna. I've always called him Mark Tofu.
Sorry, Mark. We'll send you a check.
I'm not sorry.
It's
at
all
all.
her. Can't get over that.
Come
Mike.
up with an easier name.
So
Mark was your kind of like your first person that got back with you and was like, hey, this is what works and this is what doesn't.
Right. And I would say probably the one that had the most impact on my writing, though, was Eric Shellman. So Mark and I were talking back and forth here and there, but it was just it wasn't a lot. It was just here and there because Mark's a busy guy, and so I went to it was the Days of the Dead in Illinois, and that's hosted literally 20 minutes from my house. So I saw Mark, or that Eric was going to be there. I've read his books and I wanted to go meet him, and I'd talked to him a couple times online. And what really impressed me with Eric was I walked in and he stood up from the table and was like, James, and knew me right away. Invited me to sit behind his table. We talked. We went to dinner afterwards, and it was almost like old friends that met up again for the first time in a while. We became good friends after that, and so yeah, that's why he's let me in his house more than once. But it was the same thing. He told me to people to look into for editing. My editor at the time was Ramona Martin. He put me in contact with the illustrator, the book for the book cover, and basically showed me what I needed to do. And in fact, he showed me how to format my stuff, and then also let me know that no matter how you think your writing is or how good you think it is, make sure an editor looks at it, because an editor will find ways to show you just how shitty a writer you actually are. and first time I got my manuscript back, it was more red than anything else. It's like, wow, this person hates me. But
did you cry?
But we love you.
I was frustrated, actually. I'd go through one page like, what the hell's wrong with this line? And
see, that's how I feel right there. I'm just like, what? It's fine. And then you dig into it and you go,
I guess it really wasn't fine.
Yeah. What's really helped me now is when I have Word read my story back to me. Yeah. Then I can hear the things. Like now, if I were to look at my original manuscript and have it read back to me again, I'd probably, you know what, she was right.
Yeah.
Hey, real quick to dive into some of the comments, Paul Eisen actually brought up the thing about how he had sent me his PDF for his book. I haven't got to it yet, but it's the next thing I'm actually firing up, because I was able to move that sucker to Word so I can listen to it like an audiobook and be able to kind of follow along with everything. But dude, okay, I just lost my total train of thought right there. Get into the comments.
It was awesome,
derailed.
Went off the thing, but yeah, getting to
Brian
him
sucks.
It does.
Yeah,
freaking does. For Pete's sake. Anyway, carry on.
Now I got a question. If you don't mind, Jack, I got a question for Mr. James. James, you write zombie horror. Do you plan to write in any other genres in the future sometime?
Actually, yes, I've actually started one.
Okay.
In fact, that was another one that Jenn read the prologue for. It's only at prologue. It was one of those where I needed to start writing, so I had this idea in my head, and I've had this idea in my head for a long time. I don't even know what to call it, honestly. I don't know what genre to call it. It's suspense, horror, supernatural, post-apocalyptic.
It's like a mix.
So, yeah, I have no idea. Once it goes up on Amazon, I don't even know what category to put it in. Like, they don't have a category for that just says question mark. So I'm gonna figure something out.
It just says yes.
I think they do. I think they actually do. It's called other, but yeah.
This will definitely be another.
Well, Jenn, since you read the prologue, what did it feel like to you?
Honestly, I don't remember.
Ooh.
See, and
okay.
Listen, it's been a long time ago though. It's been a minute since I've read it. But I really honestly do not. I can't even pull it from the dark files that are back up in this noggin. It's terrible in there.
Yeah, and I would say it probably was about 9 months ago, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah. You know how much has happened in 9 months?
Yeah.
There's a lot of shit that's happened in 9 months.
So A.L. White is on, and he's wanting to know, what are you working on right now, and is there anything new coming?
I am working on book 3 because I don't want to have to put a bear trap in front of my house for when I'm searching for it. I mean, I've got the ring, so I'll know she's coming.
That's what you think.
Sorry about Jennifer.
Oh, you're gonna see is a fist coming right into that thing, man.
That's what
So
you think.
I need to work on my bug out shelter just in case.
Oh boy.
But besides that, it's that other idea that I was just talking about. I'm going to work on that. I might actually work on that simultaneously because I do find sometimes when I'm writing one story for too long, I start hating it. And so
I do the same thing. I jump back and forth. That's the only way I can do it because I get bored with the one thing, and it's like, let me go do this then. And then I'm like, I'm bored with this. Then I go back.
I try not to have more than three things going at the same time, because then you end up with 20 things and you never finish any of them. But I do hop back and forth between them.
Yeah, I'm with Anthony. I can't do more than one thing. It's got to be one book at a time.
And that's generally what I do, because sometimes if I am writing two different things, they start merging in my head.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But
I have authors mix their worlds. They're writing a different genre, and I'll be reading along, and it's like, this has nothing. No, that was your zombie series. That has nothing to do with this series. And when I send it back to him, and he comes back and they'll look and they'll go, "You're right." I'm like, I know I'm
okay.
right.
You want a name drop?
No, I didn't drop any names.
I was going to say, you want a name drop? You can name drop. We won't say nothing.
I didn't know, Jack, but you need to go back and send me chapter 5, and that you were doing. That's a great book. The story is great.
Come on, Jack, finish it.
Thank you,
Jack just needs to
finish it.
Prove all those women wrong.
Good. It was.
I'm just women.
I mean, you've got your characters, and I'm like, okay, come on, come on.
I know.
So many times, I'm like, you are so talented. Like, right? Just do it.
He definitely has
wrote
a talent.
He didn't send it to me.
Yeah, and right now the tablet is actually sitting on top of the laptop, so it's got a job. It's doing its job. It's working. It's a stand.
Don't listen to these people. Just be lazy like me.
This is what I love about the indie community.
Well, that's actually
charging you more if you keep delaying this.
This is a good segue into a question for James. When you get stuck, when you're just like in a rut where you're looking at the thing, you're looking at the tablet, you're looking at the computer, and you're going, I don't think today's going to be your day either. What do you do?
Sometimes I'll actually write the ending to the book, because generally when I go into writing a book, I already know what the ending's going to be.
Okay.
I know how it begins because it's going to take from the last book. I know how it's going to end. It's just I have to get there. So sometimes I'll write the ending and then start thinking about the ending and decide whether or not it actually fits with what I've already written. Because sometimes my characters work with me, and sometimes they give me the finger and decide to do whatever the hell else they want to do.
Yeah.
So, and then if I get to a certain point and I look at that end, like, this doesn't fit anymore. Now I got to change it. And sometimes I'll start from the beginning. If I can't write, it's a good time to edit and, just listen to what you've already written. Mm-hmm. And then you'll find things that, wait, I just wrote this and this doesn't mesh with this, so I'm going to go back and make a quick change. And I know I've talked to other authors about this, and I know it drives them crazy. Just leave it alone and keep writing. And I do agree with that. But if you can't get any further, you have to still keep that mindset that you have to keep writing. So just go back and find things that don't work, find things that don't make any sense. Or in this case, with my third book, I re-listened to my first two, and I found things in the first chapter or second chapter that just didn't fit, didn't work. So I had to change that, which changed parts of the rest of the story. So when I do get a chance to sit and write, if nothing's coming to mind to move it forward, I go back.
Good.
Yeah.
Okay,
Great advice.
Serious question. At any point in your writing process, have you thought about at least trying to work in like we'll just call it what is a sex scene, really like get just bow chicka bow bow?
I like the way you think.
That was part of the reason I loved his books, because there wasn't really much of that at all.
Yeah, there really wasn't much of a chance.
Yeah, they've been on the go and everything like that. That was one thing that I absolutely adored about your books, because for me, I don't need all that extra,
Bow chicka bow bow.
Yeah, I don't need the brown chicken, brown
no
cow
triple X.
shit. I don't need that. And there's actually a lot of readers that don't. But I mean, I guess
it
And
would have to
they
be
like
an
it.
organic thing. It would have to, does the story call for it? Is that the direction that the story is going?
Gotcha.
If it's forced, then I think, in my personal opinion, the reader is going to feel that it's forced and see that it's forced.
I was just gonna say, when someone forces something, it's kind of obvious to the reader.
Rape.
And it's called, I was just gonna say,
it's called rape. But yeah,
there are lines I won't cross, and that's my own personal line, especially dealing with rape. There was, in the first book, there was kind of a direction there, but there's a line I won't cross, and that's one of them. When anything involving children, I won't. I absolutely will not cross that line.
Yeah, that one I agree with.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%.
Feelings on killing the dog or the cat?
You better not.
Well, dogs only live 7 years, so people who have the same dog 20 years into the apocalypse, I'm calling bullshit.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean,
To me, I'm of the mind now that everything's fair game anymore.
The problem is, you will never get hate mail like you will when you kill an animal.
Oh yeah,
like slaughter a room full of babies. Cool.
Nothing.
Yeah.
A dog breaks
Kick
its
the
leg,
dog.
you're done. You're canceled. That's it.
Richard Ryan Rose, who is normally on the show, but he's out of town this week, so he's not going to, obviously not here. In his Wild Eyed Southern Boys book 1, towards the end of it, there's this big climactic battle, and there's this awesome black bear that's actually a pet of a Sasquatch. So it's like a big black lab to this thing. Gets in a freaking life or death battle with a Wendigo, and he makes you feel like this bear ain't gonna make it.
I literally had tears in my eyes and almost cried.
I started texting him very nasty things.
Yeah, God forbid if any of your fans have your phone number or can message you on Facebook.
Whoa.
Yeah, now his response was a good one though. He just simply said,
"Calm down."
Keep reading. No, he said, "Keep reading." He said, "Just keep going. You're fine. Keep going." Because oh my God, yeah, it elicits a visceral reaction, and that was a black bear. That wasn't even like a dog or a cat or a ferret or something like that. It was a freaking black bear that happened to be a pet to a fucking Bigfoot. And it elicited that.
Animals don't, unless you have a book like that one where animals do talk.
Well, the bear don't talk. The bear don't talk. The Sasquatch.
That one doesn't. But do you find, James, that it's harder to write animals into your story?
Sometimes it depends on the animal. In my stories, there is a dog. His name's Titan, and Titan is actually. So Titan is a real dog. It's a not special needs dog, a service dog, but not a comfort animal, but a service dog that has been very, very highly trained. And the character Murphy is also a real person. Murphy, he served with my brother in the Marine Corps. He was in Iraq, and he also has a type of macular degeneration. And being in the desert kind of exacerbated that. So when he got back and he left the Marines, he started losing his sight. And so he was very lucky to be paired with Titan. And Titan is probably he's smarter than most 18-year-olds that I know. So so that one wasn't difficult because I know the dog and I know what this dog is capable of, and I did make him a lot bigger than he is in real life, because in real life he's just a big teddy bear, but in the book he's basically a saber tooth. So in that case it wasn't difficult, but in cases of other animals and whatnot, it really depends. I know that in the upcoming book, either the one that I'm working on or the next one, there's going to be a couple of animals involved, but and that's where things get weird. And when it comes to like hunting, your zombie apocalypse, you're going to need to eat. So when you have somebody who's hunting a deer and you kill said deer, and somebody comes at you, but I can't believe you killed the deer. It's like, do you eat meat? Yes. Shut the hell up.
Yeah.
All right, guys. I hate to interrupt, but I'm going to have to jump out. I'm going to call it out. So,
all right, Bobbie.
Guys.
Love you.
Nice to
love
meet
you,
James.
Bye,
guys.
We have a viewer. I don't know if I'm gonna mispronounce her name.
It's okay. I mispronounce everything.
Carita Dorch, Dorsich. I don't know. Carrietta. It might be Carrietta. Sorry ahead of time.
Dorsch.
But she's asking, should books come with trigger warnings?
Oh, that question in itself should come with a trigger warning.
Yeah.
I'm on the fence with that one. If you're reading horror and you're reading suspense and things like that, by adding a trigger warning, are you taking away from some of that? You're warning somebody that something is about to happen.
Yeah.
Now, that being said, when you're dealing with things like, again,
rape
or whatnot, should there be a trigger warning? I don't know. And in fact, I think that would be an argument that we're going to have, till the end of time.
Right. Because I would take the opposite. I would say no trigger warning. If you're reading horror or splatterpunk horror, you know what you're getting into.
And that's what she says. She says, I'm against them. She was just asking, but I agree.
Question.
And I
it
think
it is a damn good question.
Okay,
now some of it is, I think, genre specific too. So if you're talking about a drama that it's a family drama or whatnot, and that's thrown in there, well, one, I would question the reason. But if it is an organic, if it is organic, maybe, because you're not expecting that. But again, if you're reading a story, you're not reading a story because you want to see what's going on in real life. You want to see, and a lot of times in the story, you want to be surprised. So,
well, I mean, like for me, it'd be a situation where if you've got a cover that just shows like a happy family on the front, but it's going to be a family drama thing that's going on. But if all of a sudden you're going to work in like child rape, warn me about that first, because I'm just going to go ahead and put your book back. Like, okay, we're good. It's like, I don't want to know about that. So that's getting into the microcosm of it, getting into specifics. If you're going to portray something a certain way, but it's going to be something completely different inside the book, let me know what I'm getting into here, because I might not want to get into this.
Yeah, but the other side of that argument is if you're going to worry about triggering every human being on this planet, you're not going to sell any books.
Yeah.
Because everybody has issues. Everybody has a trigger about something, and it's usually different. I mean, we have a group of things that is pretty common.
Well, now in fairness, it's not so much with me the trigger thing about I'm going to be offended and I'm going to want to cancel you or anything like that. It's just like, dude, I just spent money on this and I'm not even going to finish it.
I get that point. I mean, if you grew up as an abused child, you certainly don't want to get surprised by reading a family drama where it's dealing with the abuse of a child.
Yeah.
I understand that.
I mean, if nothing else, at least include a vague reference of some sort in the blurb.
I think when I read the blurb, most people do kind of give the trigger warnings in the blurb.
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't
best way to do it.
I don't really touch on any of those things in my book, but I definitely, if there was something that was even kind of questionable, I'm definitely putting it in my blurb that you're going to read on the back of my book or when you order it on Amazon. There's no way.
I'm just going to go ahead and tell you, when Blood Trail does finally get done at the first of the book, there is going to be a trigger warning, and all it's going to simply say is Dungeondan. So
that might be a good thing to do.
That's perfect.
All right, James, I have a question.
All right.
And after James, all the rest of you authors are welcome to chime in too, because I think it's a good question.
For me.
Have you ever gotten, let's say, 40,000 words into it, and you're like, this is a freaking mess, and The only way to fix this is to literally print it and then start retyping from word 1. Have you ever hit that? And how did you do that?
You talking like full delete, like total delete?
Yeah, I'm like, I mean, it's like the only way to fix the story is to just start over. But you're already 40,000 words into it.
That is a damn good question.
And I will say endlessly. I've run into this. One of the things that stopped the third book the first couple of years was I would write and I would get so far into it. And then in my mind, if I get stuck and I can't go any further and I can't figure out why, it's because something's wrong with the story. It's not ringing with me. And that means the characters themselves are trying to tell me this isn't working and something's wrong. I'll go back and read it. And there was one time, I want to say last year, I reread the third book and I literally deleted, I want to say it was 30,000 words, just outright deleted it. And
oh, shit, that's brave.
I just got to the end of it. It's like, this sucks. This sucks out loud. And it doesn't fit the story. So I just got rid of it. Now I did have an incident 2 years ago where my book, I want to say 50,000 words of my book vanished. It was I hadn't backed it up. And I work in electronics. I work with technology, and I back up.
So
everything.
you know better is what you're saying.
Well, that's the thing, is I was working on it off of a thumb drive, and I had gotten. I'd worked on that thumb drive, and I thought it was backed up, but it wasn't. And so, without going into too many details, I plugged the USB into a PC that was secured enough that I shouldn't have plugged it in there, and it wiped my thumb drive completely. It wiped it and destroyed it. And so when I got home, I figured, I got the backups. No, I do not. So there was 50,000 words that were gone, and I basically was like, screw this, I'm done. And just walked away from my computer for a good week.
Wow.
Oh, that's heartbreaking.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought hearing J.S. Patrick talk about losing, like, what was it, 2 or 3 chapters or something like that that he had wrote, and then it got wiped out. But good Lord.
It's almost like a couple chapters. Okay, I can redo it, but that much of your book be like, oh my God.
Yeah, and it was, and honestly, it was my own fault because of one, I didn't back it up or back it up where I thought I normally back up, and 2, I shouldn't honestly have been using the PC I was using. Just because I knew it's one that I know is very secured, and I forget exactly why I use it. It was I needed a thumb drive, and it was the only one I had, and it just wiped it because it wasn't on the list of approved USBs.
Right.
So, lesson to all you up and coming writers out there: make sure you back up your shit.
Yes, right. I just did that now. I had to.
It was an eye opener for Angel.
He's like, oh man.
I just bought a 1 terabyte thumb drive. So I finally started backing my shit up.
Now, even on the cloud.
Now, do you email your stuff to yourself so you have it as an extra place that stuff is stored away?
No, because I don't trust email. I don't fully trust email. And so I have a 5 terabit external drive, a 2 terabit external drive, a network drive plugged in over here. I've got 2 thumb drives over here, and I got it backed up on this PC and another laptop.
You definitely learned your lesson.
Yeah, overkill is better.
Oh yeah, no, I have like 1,000 tabs open for writing projects. I probably
you're safe.
Until my computer starts to get slow and everything, because like it'll crashing or whatever.
So your computer sounds like a jet engine most of the time.
Yeah. And like I know better because like my husband, he works in IT, and it's like, come on. I should know better.
Yeah.
You should have been born a blonde, honey.
So there's a lot of stuff.
So pretty.
A lot of stuff that happens around family and friends that I'm around enough to know that I've warned them about things. And I walk in, like, one of my biggest pet peeves is you have your computer here and you have your cup of coffee sitting either on or next to the computer.
Oh, yes.
No, don't do
what
that.
Are you doing?
Yes. No.
I don't
not
trust
like-
myself.
Dude, like literally
Jack?
right now, I have 2 TV tables set out in front of me, separated by at least this much. The sloshy stuff that could get on the techie stuff is over there. All I've got is literally a pack of cigarettes sitting on this table. It's like, nope, we are not
Okay.
doing that.
You can see my waters right here. My computer's over
Mhm.
here.
Yep.
Now my work laptop is over there, but it's my work laptop, so I don't care.
And it doesn't
So-
take
Yeah.
it sometimes.
Want
We're
that?
literally
I am
teaching
pressing you, and I want to know, what are we doing about book 3, brother?
She's not
Well,
gonna let
there
up.
you go.
It's
She's not gonna let
happening.
The
go of
answer
this
is
game.
he should just email it to me right now.
Exactly.
You should.
Well,
Yes.
it's actually funny you should mention that because I don't have an editor anymore.
And
My
she's available.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do.
You
Doc
just got
Fried is
one.
going to do you right. She'll make you cry. We don't call her the Red Queen for no reason.
No doubt.
Wait a minute, but I'm gentle.
Yeah,
don't
I heard that
Yes.
last time.
line.
Yeah.
I put in comments and try and direct you to things that'll help
She-
beef it up so that
She
As
will-
gentle
she will-
as
Take
a
it-
prison
take away
inmate.
100
I was
words
gonna
and
say-
do something that'll get, add in 500 so that
Dude.
it's value.
She will
Getting
stroke
fisted
your head
gently
while she
doesn't
jams her
change,
finger up your
right?
butt. Like it works. Just bam,
Nice,
right up the butt.
Jack.
And generally, with editors, I kind of like my editors like my doctors. They just hey, if you're going to give me
You
bad
want
news,
it to be
just give it to me.
straight.
Just
Don't beat
Well,
around the bush.
Doc will absolutely do that. Like, look at us making a love connection right here today. What's going on,
but
dude?
let's
Get
see,
it
let's
in
see
her hands.
how much red comes back, and we'll talk about the whole love thing.
Uh-huh.
I don't
Use
know.
purple,
how
Doc.
bad is your spelling and your grammar?
I go over my spelling quite often, and I still screw it up. But
Well, I mean, and you can have 100 editors look at something and there'll still be a mistake somewhere someone's going to
Oh, yeah.
find.
okay, then I'm going to ask Oxford comma, yes or no?
Ooh.
Oxford comma. I tend to use
Depends
it
on
all
the
the time.
writing. How's that?
Okay, I'll go
Ooh.
with that.
Will you go with that one? I mean,
Yeah.
Okay. So now, are you a fan of the Oxford comma there, James? Is that something you like to throw out there often?
I like
he
my
knew enough
commas.
to ask.
I like my Oxford commas.
Yeah,
I know,
me
I
too.
do too. I do too.
What's
I
a
do.
comma?
Yeah, right, Mr. Run-On sentence.
Yeah, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, man.
I've seen your work.
Oh my
So
goodness.
what's your 2024 look like? Writing
That is
wise.
a really good question. It's see, I don't do New Year's resolutions. In fact, the only resolution I've ever made that I've ever stuck to is I will no longer make New Year's resolutions. But
Ditto.
Oh man.
I've kind of made it a personal thing that I have to get back into the mindset of, because right now I don't even consider myself an author because I haven't written in so long.
That's bullshit.
Yep.
But I have to put my mind back to it, and I have to kind of regiment myself. It's a little bit more difficult because I mentioned the condition earlier
Mhm.
on. There's a thing that comes along with it. A lot of people, it's a chronic pain disease. So I'm in pain all the time. I've been this way since high school.
Jeez.
But there's also a neurologic deficit that comes along with it. People just call it brain fog, and it's really what it is. You wake up and you're in pain until the point you get home from work or you're done with your day, and you are exhausted, and you might not even be physically exhausted, but your mind is exhausted and you just can't think. So I have to push past that. And some days it works, some days it doesn't. And some days I just plop in front of the computer and just watch YouTube. So I'm going to have to work around that, work around a lot of other stuff, but I need to focus myself on what I'm doing, and regimenting myself, I think, is about the only way I'm going to be able to do it. But I need to focus.
Okay. So what about any events? Do you have any lined up to go to this year?
For the last, I want to say 7 or 8 years, I've been going to Scares at Care in Virginia. But this is the first year that I've decided, because of all the health conditions and everything this year, I'm just not going to do it next year. Plus, the last time I was there, I only sold 2 books, and the hotel was like $700 for the 3 days I was there. So, and
Wow.
it's a 16-hour drive. So,
Jeez.
like,
I get it.
But I mean, Jen and I have talked actually a little bit about the Scares of Care. They have an author con now and they have it in Virginia and St. Louis, and we've talked maybe about doing St. Louis.
Yeah,
but
I'd be ecstatic.
Besides that, I really have nothing that I've planned, and that's part of me refocusing on what I'm doing. Just so, because when you're sitting there and you're trying to peddle the same two books that you've had out since 2015 and 2017, you know, after a while, people are like, "Do you have anything new?" It's like, "Well, I have stickers."
Stickers. That's great.
Nothing sells like the next book.
Well, the good part about places like AuthorCon, though, is the connections you make, and that was really the reason I was going, is the networking, the connections. You know, I'm still iffy about my book covers right now. I'd like to bring them more in line, because at first, both of them have been done by two different artists. They're both good in their own respects, but I'd like all the books to have kind of the same feel to them, and I don't think I have that yet.
Yeah. Well, if it makes you feel any better, James, you made a sale today.
Oh, thank you. Hold on a second. I actually did just get a couple of books in the mail.
And actually, I'm about to be getting my Audible copies
after the show.
So these are my TBRs for the next month or two.
Nice.
Oh, those are great books.
Nice.
I don't know about the lady that writes them, though.
Thank you.
Yeah, as long as you keep cameras outside your house, you're fine. But
Oh.
Yeah,
you just don't see me.
You're gonna enjoy those books. Yeah, I enjoy the first one. That's for sure. You're gonna enjoy it.
Yeah, I started reading it on my on Kindle, and at one point it's like I want this in paper. There's just something I like the tactile feel and the smell of a book and everything.
Yes,
it is different. I agree with that. I mean, I try to just stick with Kindle, but the pile I've got of books now physical, it's out of control.
I like the physical books way more, but I do like having an ebook, because then that way I can take it wherever I want, wherever I'm going, and I can be sitting in a waiting line and read.
Yeah. I'm kind of like Jack. Audible is my first choice, but I do like to have that physical copy. There's just something about it.
Yeah, it just feels right.
And I love physical books. I also love walking space in my house. That's
that's part of the problem with the physical books. So
something I was missing. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. No. I was
mine was off. Show. Mine was off. You go right ahead.
I'm just wrapping up the show.
We don't have to wrap up the show. We're still doing the show. Keep doing the show. Let's do.
Calm down there, penis Mike.
Now wait a minute. You leave my
penis
Mike alone.
Look how that voice gets so much deeper when she picks it up.
Right.
Leave it alone.
You're gonna be lunch.
Okay. So, well, I want to know, do you have like a website or anything where people can get your books like signed, or how do they get the books signed from you?
I do have a website you can actually email me from. It's jamesdeanauthor.com. And I've toyed with the idea of exactly what you're saying, putting that up in the shop.
Yeah.
But for right now, if somebody wants one and want it signed, they can email me directly. That's an actual email address that I check from time to time. What I actually have been thinking about too is my last two orders from Amazon have been complete shit.
Yeah,
so,
you've had problems.
The ink was off. They threw them in boxes, no protection at all, just rammed them in there. And so
that happens.
I was thinking about just either contesting them out or reduce one if you want to sign something along those lines. I've got 5 boxes of books sitting behind me that I can't use at shows, but I also don't want all that tree matter going to waste. So I was thinking about doing something that maybe with the website.
Well, dude, we could absolutely do a contest on the Book Asylum podcast page where you could do like a takeover or whatever, and maybe give a few of them away and try to get some fans that way. We could do whatever, dude. We can do all kinds of stuff around here. We just make it up.
It's not like I don't have a contact there that probably knows where I live and knows how to find me on satellite.
That's funny. I do. I mean, they do.
Well, and I don't mean to actually frighten you or anything, even though you probably should be frightened. I just discovered yesterday that A.L. White, Alan, lives like 40 minutes away from you, down south of you, and apparently
we've talked, and he's literally about 40 minutes away, and if he's still watching, White Sox suck.
Oh, shots fired.
Yep, shots fired.
Love it.
He actually did text me. He had to drop off. He had to run off and do something, but he said he was going to come back and watch the rest of the show. So yeah, he got that.
He'll still get it.
He'll still get it.
And fortunately, we have the White Sox, we have the Cubs, but then we have neutral ground with the Bears and the Blackhawks.
Yep. Both
Yeah,
suck.
Unfortunately for AL, the White
I
Sox
hate the Blackhawks. I'm a Red Wings fan.
That's why. Okay.
Go Preds.
That's
Go Preds.
I'll just have you know, I could have totally took that joke further, but I let it go.
Holy crap!
Thank
That's
you.
like the first time that's happened in like 6 months.
Wait, I changed
It was a little extra. If it's what I'm thinking that he's thinking, it's a little extra even for the show.
It's the line I'm not allowed to cross. It's in my contract.
until
We
at least
didn't even
after the
know there
show
was
after
a
party.
line. Oh God!
We didn't know there was a contract. Jeez.
Oh, now that's
just
the thing.
me.
That's something.
That's how they keep me under control.
See, that's something
They do
that
a
you
pretty
fans.
lousy job of it, but okay.
So we have another question.
Oh,
And
who is this?
Arietta.
I think it's Carried.
Yeah.
Carrietta.
I'm sorry.
I did the same thing.
It said, so she wants to know, what is the last book you read that actually scared you? Hers was The Mail by S.L. Gray.
The Mall.
The Mall.
Wow.
Well,
That's actually a really good question. There's not part of the problem with being in horror for as long as I've been into horror is that it's very difficult for me to get really, scared. And
Yeah, I've never been scared. Not one
preaching
time.
to the choir.
Ever?
now there have been books
Mhm.
where, and the names escape me unfortunately right now, but there have been books where I can't put them down because I have to know what's going on, in the next page. And so I don't know, that would be a tough one. I know there's been a couple that have had me on edge.
Okay, let's rephrase the question then, because this is how it works for me. It's not so much that they scare me, but they have me when I'm just out and about in my normal day. Things that I read will come back to me in normal thoughts. Like I'll be like, oh, this could be a fucked up situation, because of something that I'd read. But as far as scaring me during the reading, not so much, but it sticks with me. What sticks with you?
Oh, again, that's a really good question. I'd actually have to give that one some thought because a lot of my books, like now I listen to audiobooks because it gives me more time in the car.
Yep.
And it's hard to tell sometimes whether is it the audiobook, is it the narrator doing a really good job. Like one of my favorite audiobooks is Swan Song. Love that book.
Really?
Great book, great narrator.
Hmm.
It's kind of like Stephen King's The Stand without all the extra crap.
Right.
Because I'm sorry, Steve, you don't need 4 pages to describe a doorknob.
Damn right.
Yeah, that's true.
So that one, I want to say Swan Song probably sticks with me because the narration was great, the story was great, is well put together, well written. So it's not really one that kept me on edge, but and it's a marathon. It is a long book and it is a long listen, but it's well worth it.
It's got a few points that make you think for a while too.
Oh yeah.
So for me, it's the characters. If I'm really invested in the characters, I will feel the tension of what's happening, but I'm never really scared. Been in horror way too long. Just not a lot scares me.
Yeah,
Real life
nowadays,
scares
if you want to get to a horror fan, the only way you're going to do it is by grossing us out. You're not going to get us with the jump scare. Well, you might get a jump scare out of us, but it's not going to bother us. Like whatever.
And unfortunately, with grossing people out, I was also a medic back in the 90s, and I worked in Chicago, and I went to a lot of nursing homes. I've been puked on, I've been crapped on. It's so grossing out. I think I could probably win a gross out contest. Just by some of the stories that I have, as long as I don't break HIPAA laws.
Just for the record, they do those at various conventions. Just saying.
I was actually thinking about joining the one at the last AuthorCon, because I do have a story from the EMS days that involves. I'll just say it involves a fish sandwich, a very very gangrenous leg, and maggots.
Enough.
Me.
Yes, I need you to send that to me.
I
need you to send that.
I still get scared.
So like the book that really like freaked me out. So I love all things horror. I love gory. I love it all. Okay. But Stolen Tongues, reading it, like I had this visual, and the whole possession part freaks me out. Okay. So anything to do with like people getting possessed and doing the whole freaking like spider crawl and crap like that, it's too much for me. Jack, stop. I would slap you. I will drive it. I will punch you right in your nose.
It's a big target.
I know where you live.
Doc was about to say something. I think to know where she was going. What were you saying about being scared?
I still get scared. I read some of the stuff and I'm like, whoa, that's okay. And I'm actually still scared. And I've probably read thousands and thousands of horror books and zombie books. And, once in a while, something just hits home. And there it is. I mean, there's still things out of Night of the Living Dead that every time I see the same scenes, it's like, oh, yeah. Oh, okay.
I'll tell you, a book I read recently, DW Hits Larval Seeds.
Yes.
Oh, that cover is so
that was a crazy one.
He does have good covers.
He's got great covers. He has amazing depth of his writing. I can see every single maggot and every single nasty. Bleh.
I can't do maggots.
I then do not do these books, because honestly, I was in awe of his authorship, to be honest.
All right, I might have to check it out. I mean, I am the guy that did accidentally, by the way, kiss a slug. So I have to check
you
that
didn't accidentally, nor did you kiss it. You licked it. Your tongue was out. Your tongue was out.
But my lip was what made contact.
It's
the lip.
Jack's hard up for the date. He's going for the slugs now.
Yeah, man.
He's done with goats, I guess.
Yeah,
for fuck's sake, look at me.
The DW is just he's really good at just the gross and the absolutely most nasty thing. There's things that I didn't think men would write about that he did. I was in shock.
Yeah.
All right, James, what is the grossest thing you feel like you ever wrote?
Oh, that I ever wrote?
Mm-hmm. Even if it never got published, like something you wrote it and you just went like, "Oh God, no," and you chucked it. Like that's just horrific.
I don't honestly think if it's a gross out factor, I don't think I'd throw it out. It's if that'll go in my to be used later pile.
Well, I was gonna say like something that you've actually like written and because it was just part of the process and you finished it and you stopped and you went back and reread it and you went, ugh, that's grisly.
Outside of run reports.
Okay, we're curious. Run reports.
Work.
Yeah, generally the grossest things I wrote really were on EMS run reports.
Holy crap. Now you said, some of what you deal with does bleed into your writing. Have you written a scene where you thought, yeah, this is gonna make people go brr?
Yeah. The scene, I think it's in book 2, or no, it was in book 1. I find a lot of people get grossed out by eyeballs.
Yes. Those are very gross.
Yeah.
They are very gross.
Yeah, there was a popping eyeball scene.
Yeah.
And for me personally, I hate anything involving teeth. Teeth will, that's if it was a tooth trauma or fingertip trauma, my partner's in the back, I'm driving.
Ooh.
But eyeballs don't bother me as much, so I don't mind throwing those in there. And plus, one of the characters in my book is also based on one of my best friends, Matt Davis, who, as a side note, had well, he was just in the hospital recently for colon cancer. They got it all. It's 100% done.
Nice. Hell
and
yeah.
The way that
Congrats.
it happened was he had a tumor, a large tumor. They got it out, and he is cancer free.
That's great.
It's nothing short of a miracle. So way to go, Matt.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Way to go,
on,
Matt.
But he also hates eye trauma. So when I write it in, a lot of times I'm writing it in a way that I know would mess with him. So he's my
Your
my
inspiration.
muse. If I know that I can get him to just make the icky face, I know that I've done it well.
Yes. yes. I'm 100% on board with that. That is fucking awesome. Having that friend that you just know, okay, if I can trigger them, I got them all.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Now I've got one that really did gross me out at one point.
Okay.
Not that I wrote, but something that stuck with me. Got a Hostel, the movie Hostel. In the scene where the Achilles was cut. And they stood up. That was it. That was it for me.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's ow.
Yeah.
So the thing that got me, like, I just recently rewatched one of the Saw movies, and like growing up, my dad and my sister and my brother and I, we would watch these movies, and like one day we were eating spaghetti with meatballs, and my dad's like, let's see who can make it through without throwing up or, not being able to put dinner aside. So we did that. But like my best friend and I, we were watching this series on Netflix called Slasher. And there's 3 series, but the second one, oh my God, what is that thing? It's like a hole digger for posts that you put in.
Yeah, post hole digger.
It was a electronic one, and the killer literally put the post digger in the middle of the person's stomach and started it up, and like you just seen intestines and everything flying all over the place. And me and my best friend were eating stuffed pizza that day. She had to stop eating.
Not for long.
It was like, it was insane and so intense. But like, I love the slasher shows because, a lot of the movies and stuff, they don't really show what's happening, but they show the aftermath half the time. Well, the slasher show on Netflix, they show it happening. Like they show the person getting sliced up. They show the person getting mutilated. And
it's like the modern day faces of death.
Yeah, it's awesome. Like I tell you, it's awesome.
She literally just said it's awesome. See why I have her on the show? She's a psychopath like the rest of us. I just freaking love it.
Makes perfect sense.
James, has there ever been a time where you thought you've gone too far in your books or
like
in
Kristen?
an idea?
Not really, because I do have my hard lines that I won't cross, and so I really don't get near those. But what I do, like I said, I like when I know somebody that is going to read this and just ask, what the hell's wrong with this guy?
Yeah.
Then that's perfect.
Yeah.
But no,
what are your biggest hangups? Like the things that stick you, like you're writing, everything's going fine. All of a sudden, skirt.
Generally, if I'm writing and somebody disturbs me, then it just pulls me right out of that mindset. And it takes a while to get into that mindset where you can write and things are starting to flow. And then when somebody comes up as, oh, can I bother you for a second? It's like, well, you already have. So, which is why sometimes I'll have the door closed or something. And then there's other times where I'm not in the middle of something or I'm just trying to figure things out. Then yeah, it's perfectly fine to come and talk to me because basically there's nothing going on up here anyway. So
Hey, that's why The Shining went down the way it did, as far as I'm concerned. The dude was just trying to write. He was in the right place. You know,
I completely understand his mindset now that
yeah.
Really
when
just
you see me
Max
doing
murdering
this,
the whole
don't
damn
bother me.
family.
It makes so much more sense.
Yeah, you're all dead. The hell.
I find it really
Okay,
hard
I
to
just
find
got some
time
really good
to-
news and I want to share it with everybody. I'm sorry.
Go
All right,
for it.
so I want to ask you this question.
Hold on a minute. One
Oh,
second.
wait. Okay,
I
sorry.
just
Fangirl.
got really good news. I am going to be at the Mad Monster Party in July in Arizona. The one up in Glendale. It's
Awesome.
a book convention. I was so I applied to like 3 or 4 of them. I thought I was getting one in like October or September or something like that. That one fell through. This one, I literally just got the email, and you guys are all first to know. I will be in Glendale, Arizona,
Yay, Jen.
doing my first
Congratulations.
book convention.
Yes. And
Sorry.
James Dean,
Continue.
James Dean, you are to blame for all this. Don't forget
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
I'll
that's
take
right.
it.
You started the psychopath. Sorry.
Like I said,
No, the
like,
psychopath
guys,
was already there. I just pointed you in the victim's direction.
Okay, I'll let you.
that'll work. That'll work. But I mean, tell you guys, this is why I love doing these shows, is because of the fact that we wind up with these weird connections. And in this case, this one right here, James Dean, Jenn Folk, it makes no sense because of how does she literally be like come in as a fill-in host on the week that we literally have her favorite fucking author on?
Yeah, that was very strange.
That don't happen.
That was
And yet,
strange.
here we are. We're over 2 years later doing this thing. I got my man Angel Ramon that's carried me through this thing. We've added the bad wabbit. Dungeondan, he's just lurking around the dumpster over there. And we just get to do these freaking crazy shows and get to ask all these awesome questions. And so I'm going to ask you my next question to you. Who is your favorite author?
That's it.
Yeah, now I'm keeping
That was a
simple,
big
man.
buildup.
That was a huge buildup.
I thought we were going to get some really awesome question. Sorry,
No,
James.
no,
The answer is going to be worse.
Yeah, once I
The
get the
answer's gonna
answer,
be worse.
once I get the answer, we go from there.
So, as far as favorites, I generally don't have favorites, and this is why, actually, when I got married, I didn't have a best man. It's just like everybody say something because, when I'm asked what's my favorite movie, what genre, what. So if you're talking zombies, it's Night of the Living Dead, of course. That's the first movie in the Unholy Trilogy.
Yeah.
But
Right.
with books, what book? I mean, I'd say my favorite, very, very long book, like I said earlier, was Swan Song. Zombie, I don't know. I like different books for different reasons. So
You got Tupou, Phil Brooks, Simpson.
It's tofu.
Tofu, get out of here with your tofu ass.
You and your sacrilege.
Ah,
Calm down, witch.
And I still have yet to read one of his books.
good
Oh,
God.
fuck you.
Well, that's why you're still calling him tofu.
Yeah,
Somebody get
Yeah.
tofu and not here.
no shit.
I think Tracy just put you on a list.
Oh, boy.
I'm not surprised if I am on a list.
You
I'm
might
sure I'm
have
on
to
a
be,
couple
but
lists.
Hear about this and they'll want to come on to get back.
You'd be like, listen here, little girl. You're
All
welcome.
right. So, guys, we're going to go ahead and wrap this thing up. I can hear Mom coming home, so that means I got shit to do. So, let's do this thing the way we always damn do it after I close that damn door.
I'm not doing nothing, Mom. Get out.
Go away.
Don't
Where's
look.
the meatloaf?
Don't bother me while I'm vacuuming my room.
Yeah. Yeah, this show absolutely went exactly like I had it figured to start with. I knew it was going to go off
Castro's
the
fault.
rails, but yeah, and I was actually going to blame Jenn for the whole damn thing. But we can use Castro. He's been pretty quiet mostly. Totally
I
his
don't
fault.
know. I think everybody had their 2 seconds of
Yeah, Mike.
ridiculousness.
Not me.
Mhm.
I need a few more.
You
Let's
asshole.
talk
All right,
about
so-
that runny nose,
all right.
Jen.
All right, no,
Don't ask me
Just for-
about
He's
things you
like-
don't want the answer to.
man.
What do you call a hooker with a runny nose?
Hey, just for the hell
Bull.
of it, good God.
Oh.
I had it, Jack. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Told you, you guys deprived me.
Put that one
Yeah,
in
you
your
did.
pocket.
Yes.
Go ahead and
Feel
take
free to
it.
use
There-
that,
there-
anyone.
my
There it is.
Go.
Okay.
I love you,
I'm going to go
Dungeondan.
off that. I'm just for the hell of it because y'all have been a little more quiet than normal. Angel, throw another question out there because I know you got one.
Actually, I do have another question. Do you, James, do you use people that you know in your books? Do you write them in? People that you know
All the time.
all the time?
Most of
That
my
means I can get in.
most of my main characters
Sit
are
down,
people
Jack.
that I
You're in
know.
enough books.
Yeah, get out of here, Jack. Stay in the game, bro.
But generally, people who read my books and they say they connect with some of my characters. A fun game is tell me which ones aren't real. Who are the ones that are made up?
Oh,
Never
hey,
thought of it like
okay.
I
that.
like that.
That's
I
cool.
like
That
that.
is cool.
I like that.
All right, Dungeondan, throw one last question out there, brother, before I wrap this thing up. And
Honestly, James,
froze.
I don't have anything left. You answered
Oh
all
my
the questions I
God.
thought of.
Wait
I
a
mean,
minute,
everything I was going to
Ryan?
ask you, somebody wound
Does-
up asking.
Does that mean we got to take a board out of the wall or something?
It's
Oh no,
something.
I got a question. And it's been
Oh, he
driving me
lied.
crazy the whole fucking show. I can't figure out that poster behind you. What the hell is it for?
Oh, that's
what is
a
the poster?
that is a white zombie poster. A white zombie movie.
You think I would have
Nice.
caught that?
You
Nope,
would think.
I suck.
Black
And
ass.
it's not pink microphones either.
That's what I heard.
No, you won't find very many
I
pink things
think
in this
Dan's
room.
been very distracted with the microphone.
Y'all
Well,
notice that
I
Jenn
like my
Amato
microphone.
disappeared to have her little alone time with that mic.
Yeah, she
Yeah,
She
keeps
came
went-
back
smoking
all
the mic.
smiling.
Went tinkle.
My
The question
God.
I'm
is,
sure you
is it-
You
tinkled
forgot
all
to turn it
right.
off.
That is none of your business.
It's totally my business now.
Yeah.
What's hubby's phone number?
And evidently, like everybody who's watching too, or who will see this.
Oh, I forgot
Sorry.
other people are seeing this.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
sorry about that,
apologize for
James.
Jen.
No, you don't.
I apologize for James. I ain't worried about Jen. Fuck her.
I
No,
was
don't worry.
apologizing to the
Don't-
audience.
I was gonna say, don't worry, her
Jack.
microphone will take care of that.
Jack,
What?
I want you to go online and buy your doll.
Ooh.
Damn it. Damn it.
Bye, Jack. It was really nice knowing you.
I know. So
They
have
got
you
blow
picked
up
your
goats
out?
now?
So now wait,
Oh,
Dan,
come
have you
on.
picked have
All
you
right, let's
picked your-
straighten up. Enough, guys. Boy,
It was
out.
Voodoo Doll.
Okay,
Yes,
let's do this thing like we always do it. This is how we do this thing every single week. So we want to make sure everybody gets promoted. Kristen, Vincent, where can everybody find you?
But unfortunately, you can find me here with you. Everybody else.
Good answer.
Every
Damn.
Saturday, 1 p.m. Central Time. You can find me on Facebook. You can find me on Instagram and Twitter, TikTok, Threads, and then you can also find me on my website, author kvincent1.
She's got to check.
See,
Nice.
she's spread out
.com.
all across everybody.
I feel
Yep.
that. I feel that.
Yeah. And then you can
All
find
right.
me on
Keep going. Shit.
Oh boy.
Yeah,
You've lost
this one
control,
just
Jack.
this one just totally melted down. Angel Ramon, my liege, where can everybody find you?
Just like Kristen mentioned, you can find me with these wonderful, magnificent bastards every Saturday on the show. Right now, I just finished Pina Canadas and Rats 4, and it's a pretty badass ending, Jack. Then let's just say your ending is just kind of dark, Dungeondan.
I love it.
It's
I
gotta
love
be
it.
dark.
Got it.
Yeah.
So that one will be coming out late February, early March. You can pre-order it now for 99 cents. You can also find me on the Written Undead, on the Written Horrors group, the Woodpenners audio group, and you can just find me on Facebook anywhere you can find me.
Dude is literally everywhere.
Pretty much. I even have a Patreon too, if you
You
want to
should
check
just
that
call
out.
him Big Brother. He's everywhere.
Right. He's got his Roman eye.
I got my eyes
Oh,
on him.
that was
Yeah,
good.
and you can't even throw up an ad blocker. You try to put up an ad blocker, and you'll just get another one from him that says "Nice try, asshole."
Yeah, exactly.
Well, right?
All right, let's move along. Dungeondan, where can everybody find you?
I'm
they
on
can.
Amazon. You can find me on the Real 9 Horror Group. Obviously, the Book Asylum podcast. Been usually in a gutter somewhere.
Or next to a dumpster, at least.
I gave up the dumpsters. That's like high pollutant living. I just want to go simple.
Hey, look, it's simple shelter. Come on, dude. I just read A.L. White's Z Chronicles. It can be used as a place to live. Trust me. You just need a metal lid. That's all that matters. Jenn, Amato, potato, tomato. You fucking kidding me? Where can everybody find you?
You can find me on Amazon, on Facebook. It's my author name is J.L.Foulk, F-O-U-L-K. You can, I have a website, jlfolkauthor.com, and Facebook, Instagram, J.L.Foulk, author. Find me. I'm here. I'm a little bit like Angel where I'm everywhere, but not really. You really won't see me, but then I'll jump out of the bushes.
She's there.
So we'll call her Stalker.
Yeah.
Well, that's where you were last time. Okay,
Yeah.
I gotta trim those bushes back.
You need to change your camera angle.
This is starting to actually have viewers out there right now going, should I call the cops or not?
Yeah, is James safe?
I don't know.
If you need help, not
safe
twice.
or no?
Yeah.
Blink twice if you need help.
Are these even real people? Are these even normal people?
Yeah, comment 2 dots in the comments. That's all she needs.
If you need rescue.
Yeah,
Oh, for
SOS.
Pete's sake.
Don't worry, I'm gonna lock them all back up when this is done.
Yeah.
And until next week.
And I'm getting the right corner of the box, by the way. Dan, you had it the last time. It's my turn. Bad Wabbit. My guy. My dude. My freaking comic book soon to be legend. Tell everybody where they can go get them some Bad Wabbit awesomeness.
Well, I just figured out how to get it on Amazon. So now you can get your physical copies at Amazon. Look me up, Bad Wabbit, by Anthony Castro, edited by Chris Philbrook, and drawn by Tommy Guns, the amazing artist. You can go to dmwcomics.com and find all that stuff there. Find my merch, find the
hoodies and shirts and things and stuff.
He's got all kinds of things.
Look at that.
There
So,
we
gotta
go.
have that.
You get some cool stuff
profile.
there. You can get my blog. You can get my updates. I always have a current events. I got Castro's Comic Book Corner, which is my own personal podcast where I talk with other indie comic book authors and delve into their minds and see what got them into the business as well. You can find me here at 1:00 with these nut jobs, and I love them all. So yeah, I mean, find me on dmwcomics.com, and also DMW Comics on Facebook too.
Sweet dude. I'm telling you, you're going places with the Wabbit. It's slow now. Just wait. It's gonna blow. It's gonna blow. It's gonna be awesome.
Probably sound like a drug reference. You're going place with the rabbit.
It's that white rabbit.
It's gonna be like a drug because once you read the first issue, you're gonna be hooked. It's gonna be like crack. You're gonna be looking for the next one. It'd be like
I'll
Jenn.
admit, first issue kicked ass.
It's gonna be like Jenn harassing poor
James.
freaking James over here. I mean, it's gonna get ridiculous. So be ready
This
for
poor
that.
guy.
It's gonna happen.
I
Well,
bother
in
him
all fairness,
all the
she's just
time.
slightly below harassment, so she's still legal.
I just get to the line, and that's it.
Right at it.
2
I
words,
know-
James.
I know where it's
electric fence.
Nah.
All right.
It's going to be delivered next Friday.
It's when you wake up strapped to a bed and she's got a hammer, and then you got.
I've always loved
gonna
your
be like-
books.
And if you see a sprinkler out on the lawn that says, this end towards enemy, you might want to avoid it.
Yes.
Be like a Misery from Stephen King.
Oh,
Yeah, crack.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
too.
We're
Yep.
getting that. All right, we're moving on. We're going forward. Doc, we know you're going to be busy soon because Jenn is going to force James to get his book to you so that we can get this damn thing edited and get it out there. For Pete's sake, it's taken long enough.
yeah, tell me
So,
about it.
Doc,
That guy.
if somebody wants to get some books edited, if somebody wants to at least get some advice, if nothing else, where can everybody find you?
Unfortunately, every Saturday you can find me here at noon Mountain Time.
This is getting better.
Although next weekend I'll be in Nolens.
Nolens, you'll be just down south.
Taping from Nolens. Yeah, I'll be taping from Nolens. I'll be there at noon your time or 1 o'clock your time.
Yep.
But you can find me on Facebook, Doc Fried, Fried, which everyone is mispronouncing as fried, and that's cool because that's the way you spell it. And also at Doc at AboArts, A, B as in boy, OARTS.com. And that's where you find me.
So
Very
everybody,
good.
if you've got a book you need to get edited, send it to her because, like she said, she will pet your head while jamming her finger up your ass. She will make sure you write a good book, but she will be nice about it.
You know, there's websites dedicated to that.
There are, and
Yeah,
she's
but
actually
they're doing something else. Yes.
she's actually 5-star on 2 of those. Just saying.
I just like
Anyway.
that James knows these sites. I'm not the only one this time.
No.
God, you guys are about to be boozing buddies. I can see it already. This is the
No,
thing.
you guys never booed anyone. What are you talking about?
Come on, James. We're gonna do some butt stuff.
Whoa.
Oh boy.
Hey, sorry, Jenn, you just lost your pen
can't
pal.
use my mic.
It disturbs me every time you
It's
lift
all
that
right.
thing
It's all
up.
right. Me, Jen, and Ann are gonna go in together, and you'll have a buddy for Valentine's Day, Jack.
There
Oh,
we go.
God. Oh, jeez. If it ain't a goat, I ain't in. I'm just saying.
God.
Yeah, whatever. All right,
Oh.
James Dean, you have suffered through this thing long enough.
You know,
We have
she
put you through
pretty
enough
poor
hell.
man.
And these knuckleheads are still going, you asshole. Sheesh. I will throw my feces at you like a freaking raged monkey. Anyway,
Jen worked in a prison. She's used to that.
Yeah.
that's true. That is true. Very
Can
true.
I use
yeah,
that rage
I've
monkey?
learned how to dodge. Juke the poo.
There's a book title.
Yeah.
fuck it. Considering most of mine are loose, good luck with that.
Ew.
Splash.
Run through your hand
All right,
first.
all right,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So where
Yeah.
can we find you, James?
Thank you.
You can find me at jamesdeanauthor.com. That's my main website. Of course, you can find me on Facebook and on Amazon. But the easiest way to reach me would probably be through the website. Or just
does
message
Jen
me on
reach you?
Facebook because she usually either pops up in
Pops
my
out of the
window. She sends these guys
Floor
once in a while to the
vents.
house with lead pipes, talking about breaking kneecaps, something along those lines.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you
But-
might want to get to writing, dude. I'm just saying, dude. She don't
She's
play.
got her house pinned on Google World.
Oh, you should have seen what I had to go
He
through
doesn't
when
know
I
about the
accidentally.
locator. And it's
Y'all
car
should have
and-
seen what I had to deal with when I accidentally double booked on a bad weekend for her. Oh my God, I'm still walking a limp from that. Like, don't
Wonk, wonk.
screw
And
Jen.
it's
That's
not
all I'm
because
saying.
of anything I stuck up his rear.
Well, that was
So you
separate. And that
say.
was totally unrelated. Totally unrelated. Had nothing to do with that situation. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, as sorry as I am to admit it, this has been an episode of the Book Asylum podcast. We have had the most fun that we've had since last
while.
week. God
Yeah.
damn, it's just been freaking fun. And that's why we do these shows, because we want to be stupid, entertaining, and take the rigidity off of talking to an author, getting to know their books while still getting to know them as a person. Friends hanging around at a bar, catching a buzz, talking shit, having fun. That's what we've been doing. That's what we did here again today. James, thank you. Thank you. Thank you so
Thank
much
you.
for coming on with us today.
Oh, thanks for inviting me. Thanks for having me.
When
Thanks for
hopefully
not leaving halfway through.
Yeah.
right.
Well,
And
if I'm
hopefully-
here, I know where
find
Jen's at.
you.
Oh yes, you're gonna find you all right.
well,
I know
hopefully
she's on camera. I know what she's doing, so it's pretty safe here.
hopefully within the next 2 to 70 years, we will get to check out the third book in the series. I'm sure Jen's going to make sure it takes less than 70. Guys, this has been a fun show. I have had the time of my life with you. I love all of y'all. Y'all are the best people to hang out with, whether everybody else out there knows it or not. You are. This has been the Book Asylum podcast. I'm Jack Childress. That's Kristen Vincent. That's Anthony Badwebbit Castro. That's Dungeondan pain in my ass Uebel. Over there is my liege, Angel Ramon. Starts with an A. Stop with them with the A names. Over here is Doc Freed, not fried, although she might be fried. We're not confirmed or denied on that at this point. Jenn, Amato, potato, tomato, amato. Are you fucking kidding me for like the 5th time today? Jenn, send him home.
We want to also thank you, James Dean, for coming on. And this has been another episode of the Book Asylum podcast. Keep it classy.
That was
Peace
almost
out.